Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our February 15th, 2024 Ascension Parish Council meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I'm going to ask Mr. Orson to please lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Dear Lord, thank you again for another beautiful day. The blessing to live in Ascension Parish, God. We pray that you would be with us tonight as we discuss topics and issues. We pray that you would help us best decisions we can. God, we pray that you would bless our parish going forward and that we would always serve you as we serve our constituents. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Arsenault. Let's see, roll call. Ms. McKee, Mr. Robert is absent. All other council members are present. Item number 3, Chair's addition. The Chair has no additions tonight. Item number 4, public comment sign-in period. If anyone would like to speak on any of our agenda items, please come see Ms. McKee over here. She has the red and green cards. Fill that out with the agenda topic you'd like to speak on, and she'll get that to me. And whenever we get to that item, you have 3 minutes at the podium. Item number 4, the Parish President's Report. Mr. Quimel, I believe you have a few things for us tonight.
Good evening, Chair. Thank you, and good evening, Council. We do. And so we'll start with recognizing the school board. So I would like for those school board members that are present to come on. Why don't y'all come on up? And so this is something we're trying to do last month, and we just had a little difficulty putting it together. So certainly want to acknowledge them and for all their hard work. So I'll go ahead and read this proclamation, and it's from the month of January. So to recognize the leadership and contributions of the Ascension Parish School Board members during the National School Board Appreciation Month. Whereas the primary objective of the public schools is to address the diverse educational requirements of every child and empower them to become capable, productive contributors of society. The school board members are dedicated to the well-being of children, firmly believing in the potential of every child to succeed as learners. And school board members play a pivotal role in communicating the district's needs to the public, conveying the public's expectations to the district. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, I, Clint Quintmall, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, expressing my gratitude to the members of the Ascension Parish School Board for officially designating January 2024 as School Board Appreciation Month in Ascension Parish, and I encourage all residents to join me in acknowledging the unwavering dedication and diligent efforts of local school board members in collaborating with them to shape an education system that caters to the needs of both the present and the future generations. So I want to give them a round of applause. Don't go anywhere. And we'll have our board president, Mr. Taft, come up and say a few words.
Thank you, sir. I just want to thank each of y'all for the partnership that we have, that we formed with y'all. I look very forward, along with the board members, at working with the new council members also. And whatever we can do for y'all, we're here for you. And we, again, appreciate everything y'all do for the kids of our parish. Thank y'all very much.
So we're going to do a little photo together. Yep.
Joe's here.
So this is, that next item is one of those things that you're excited for someone, but you're also sad because they're leaving your organization when they become a team member. So I'd like Sandra Pereira to come up. She's going to get you, well, hopefully she don't get a little emotional. So I'm going to go ahead and read this proclamation, and we'll let Sandra speak if she's up to it. So, whereas today we gather to honor an extraordinary individual whose unwavering dedication under the administration of 4 parish presidents, Ronnie Hughes, Tommy Martinez, Kenny Matassa, and of course me, Clint Quintmall, has enriched the fabric of our organization. With joy and gratitude, we bid her farewell to Sandra, who has embarked on a well-deserved retirement after 13 years of devoted service. Sandra has been the cornerstone of our team, known for never saying that's not my job, and infusing every task with her unwavering dedication, expertise, and passion, serving not only as a colleague but also as a mentor and a friend and an inspiration to us all. Sandra has exemplified an exceptional leadership, professionalism, and integrity throughout her tenure, facing challenges with grace, navigating obstacles with resilience, and leading by example. With her departure leaves a void in our team. It presents an opportunity to celebrate Sandra's legacy and her impact on each one of us. As she leaves behind her legacy of excellence, professionalism, and kindness that will continue to inspire all of us for years to come. Sandra enters retirement. We extend our heartfelt appreciation and best wishes for the future, hoping she will enjoy the fruits of her labor, pursue her passions, and savor the moments of joy, relaxation, and fulfillment that lie ahead. And on behalf of all of us, we express our gratitude to Sandra for her years of service, dedication, and friendship, acknowledging that while she will be dearly missed, her impact will forever be felt within these walls. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Clint Quintmall, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, do hereby declare February 15th, 2024, as the Sandra Pereira Day in Ascension Parish. And look what we got. Well deserved. All right, let's do it. Do you want to say a few words before we take pictures?
Well, I can try. I was always nervous at this podium. Anyway, I really enjoyed every minute of it. I got to know really great people. I'm not gonna have the pleasure of the new council, but I just remember Oliver. But I just, like I said, I'm gonna miss everybody, and I don't know what else to say. Thank y'all so much.
Congrats.
This means so much to me.
Congrats. Let's take a picture.
Congrats to you, Miss Sandra. Don't you spend all that money at one time. Look, I will tell you, Miss Sandra, so one of your colleagues today described your retirement as almost like losing a limb of Ascension Parish government. So on your last day, I want you to know that that was the sentiment towards you, that we hate to see you go. We're happy for you, your future, but we're going to miss you. So wish you the best. All right, Mr. President,
All right, on to the next item.
on to the next one.
So we had a great little trip to DC, and we got a lot accomplished. I would probably say that, and it's weird to say, right, that DC Mardi Gras is probably one of the most productive times in DC, but it was, and it has been for the second trip that I've made it. For whatever reason, the access to our federal delegation is very relaxed, very open, encouraged, and that's something I did not find when I visited DC on other occasions. It was very difficult to get in, to see them and talk about the important issues in Ascension Parish, but it is an opportunity, and I hope that more of our council has the opportunity to make some future trips with us, because I think it's important. I think it's important that you reach out to our federal delegation and form those relationships like we have, and doing that, we were excited to have a couple council members with us, and so we're going to turn it over to Pam, and she's going to do a little presentation about our trip and what we got accomplished.
Thank you. Well, last month I told you that we were going to be back to explain a little bit more and answer some questions about our trip to DC Mardi Gras. This was the 75th anniversary event, and of course, King Drew Brees led the Mardi Gras festivities, but our focus in DC was clear. Our team of Clint, Ruth, Ricky, Michael, Brett, and the Picard group and myself participated in one-on-one meetings with the U.S. congressional delegation, key staff, the Department of Transportation, and the Economic Development Administration. The focus was on securing federal funding for vital projects as well as initiatives in education and healthcare. Meetings were set up by the Picard group and led by Clint. During our meetings, Congressman Troy Carter brought up GOMESA funding and the need to amend legislation for our benefit. Congressman Graves also offered a letter of support for the RAISE grant application for the LA 3127 extension project. Senator Cassidy offered to send a letter of support for the RAISE grant application for the LA 3127 extension project. And Clint also spent a good bit of time talking about how difficult it is to deal with the feds on disaster recovery funding versus ARP funding. Ron Anderson in Senator Cassidy's office, he's the senior policy advisor, spent a majority of time focusing on the Marty Barrett drainage and pump station, the RAISE grant, and letters of support for other grant funding. At the Economic Development Administration, we met with C.J. Epps and Angela Ewell Madison, whose husband, by the way, is from Donaldsonville. We talked about potential opportunities for water and natural gas infrastructure needs and assistance programs for the teaching hospital. At the Department of Transportation, we met with Landon Bailey, who emphasized the safety components in our RAISE grant applications. Senator Kennedy also offered to help us with grant funding support as well. The Picard group serves sort of as our, not sort of, but as our point team to help us learn about funding opportunities, to stay abreast of what's going on, and also to help us be in the forefront of talks so that Ascension can continue to be at the top of so many of the good lists that we remain on. And now, here to explain in more detail and to help answer any of your questions is the former Louisiana Speaker of the House, Mr. Chuck Cleckley, who is a partner with the Picard group.
Thank you very much, Pam. Great job. Mr. Chair and council members, good evening. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here tonight. My name is Chuck Cleckley. I'm with the Picard. I'm a partner with the Picard group in Lafayette. I actually live in Lake Charles. To give you a little bit of brief background about myself, I served on the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury for 5 years and then was elected state representative and served 3 terms in the Louisiana legislature. The last 4 years was Speaker of the House of Louisiana, state representative. But it's been an incredible time, and Pam did a great job. I just have one objection of all those pictures that you've shown. I didn't get a picture with Drew Brees. So I saw the president with Drew Brees, and I saw Drew, and I said hello, and he kind of nodded. But, it was a great time, and it's very, very productive. We have an incredible team in D.C. 3 of our members up there are from Louisiana. Hunter Hall is actually from here in Baton Rouge. He worked with Cassidy for years. Ward Cormier is from Welsh. He worked with Clay Higgins for several years and then joined our team a couple years ago. And then our all-star up there is Emily Baque da Silva, who's from Lafayette. She actually worked for John Breaux for several years until he retired in 2006, and then she went to join the lobbying world. And she is, when you hear about our successes and our everything that happened up there, a lot of that credit goes to Emily and her team for the incredible job they've done. We've been very impressed with her and how she handles her business. But that doesn't go to say the success that we have and that we have provided y'all in D.C. is because of your team, because of the president, because of Ruth, and because of Pam and the members that were there. Having a clear message, having a clear direction, having a clear ask. I've heard more about 3127 Extension Project over the last month than I think, and the importance of it is for Ascension Parish. So, it's clearly on the map, on the radar for the DC folks. There were a lot of meetings. I don't know how many total meetings that we attended, but there was a bunch. We met with all the congressional delegation. Some of the congressmen were available, some weren't. We met with Economic Development, Department of Transportation, as Pam said. But it was a very, very productive couple of days up there. And it is Washington Mardi Gras, where everybody from Louisiana goes to Washington and celebrates Mardi Gras. But there is time to get things done and be productive, and which we did, and we felt very good about the accomplishments after we came back. And now it's just a matter of following up and keep the pressure on and keep pushing the delegation members. But again, I go back, it helps tremendously when you've got a great team like y'all have with Ruth and the president and Pam and the folks that were up there that joined us. It makes our job a lot easier, and we're looking forward to continue that relationship. I guess, Ruth, you may move into the state part. So after Ruth had contacted us about submitting a proposal to help with your state work here in Ascension Parish. And so we have a team of folks in Lafayette, myself, David Koch, who couldn't be here tonight, and Michelle Phillips, who also couldn't be here tonight, but are part of our team that will work with Ascension Parish on the state work. And one of our goals is to help Ascension Parish not only with the capital outlay, but with legislation that is important for you to move your parish forward, to make your team run this parish more efficiently, run it better for the hardworking taxpayers of Ascension Parish. And that's our goal. And there's a lot of opportunities here in Baton Rouge. There's a lot of opportunities, whether it's through capital outlay, whether it's through direct appropriations. There's opportunities to get money. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help you with the extensions. We're here to help you with other capital outlay projects. And again, Ruth has done an incredible job with the message and with your needs and with what you have and what your goals are for here. And we look forward to working with you. We've submitted a proposal. I think Ruth is reviewing it, and we'll visit with you guys. But I'm here to tell you that we're excited about Ascension Parish. We're excited about working with your team. We're excited about working with the president. And we look forward to a long-term relationship that we can help your parish grow. We can help your parish get some of the capital outlay dollars that is needed, some of the direct appropriations money that's needed. And it certainly goes to say it helps with Patrick Goldsmith being in the position he is in. Patrick and I go back a long way. I know Patrick very well, and I know the incredible job that he's done here for y'all. But he will be a true asset for Ascension Parish and in this part of the state. So we look forward to working with him and continuing that relationship. We have submitted our proposal, and we look forward to hearing back from y'all. And at this time, Mr. Chair, if there's anybody that has any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Trump? I don't think we have any questions for you.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. And obviously, David, we'll see y'all at the end of this month in Lake Charles at the Police Jury Convention. Our team will be there, David will be there, Michelle will be there, so have a chance to meet with them, and you'll have a chance to hear more from us at that time and talk more about some state stuff that's going on and what we're working on to help you grow your parish and make your parish a better place to live and work. So thank y'all very much for your time. We've enjoyed it, and looking forward to a long-term relationship. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Jared, that concludes the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Secretary, please note that Mr. Robert we're full body. Agenda item number 6, the consent agenda. Ms. McKee.
Adoption of January 18th, 2024 regular council meeting minutes. Adoption of February 1st, 2024 regular council meeting minutes. Renewal of the cooperative endeavor agreement with Southeast Louisiana High School Rodeo Club to provide funding in the form of a one-time payment of $17,000 to enhance economic development through the hosting of an annual rodeo for participants in grades 5th through 12th to be held at Lamar-Dixon Expo Center on March 1st through the 3rd, 2024. Approval of Amendment Number 4 to the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement between Ascension Parish Government and Nicholls State University, wherein the university shall provide consulting services for the Early Learning Center in Donaldsonville, Louisiana, to update the billable rate schedule. Total contract amount not to exceed $1.5 million. Approval of Amendment Number 1 to the Professional Services Contract between Ascension Parish Government and Roberto Macedo and Associates for Administrative Consultant Services for funds received through the Department of Housing and Urban Development Program for Section 8 housing to increase the contract amount by $12,000 for a total contract amount not to exceed $87,000 due to an increase in administrative fees granted by HUD. Approval of Amendment Number 1 to the Joint Intergovernmental Agreement and Cooperative Endeavor Agreement for the Adult Drug Intervention Program to increase the amount of the agreement by an additional $14,000 for a total amount of $103,900. Approval of renewal of the agreement with Acadian Total Security for GPS monitoring for up to 500 units at a cost not to exceed $12,500 per month or $150,000 annually. Exact payment will be only for units that get GPS devices installed with a discounted rate of $25 per unit. This is the 3rd year of a 3-year agreement. Approval of Amendment Number 1 to the master contract with UniFirst Baton Rouge for uniform rental and flat supplies to extend the contract term through March 31st, 2024. This amendment only extends the term and does not affect contract price. Approval of change order number 1, Richard Price Construction for the Church Point Road at Roddy Road Roundabout Project and the Move Ascension Program, Project H006459, to reimburse the contractor for DOTD's requirement to purchase owners and contractors' protective liability insurance, which increases the contract amount by $2,496 for a new total contract amount of $1,938,579.96. Approval of change order number 2 to task order number 3, R.J. Daigle & Sons Contracting for 2020 asphaltic concrete reconstruction and overlay improvements to add an additional 323 days to the task order to rectify quantity discrepancies and issue a substantial completion. The total task order amount remains unchanged at $1,073,180.03. Approval of change order number 4, R.J. Daigle & Sons Contracting for the 2020 asphaltic concrete reconstruction overlay improvements project to add an additional 259 days to the contract to allow for additional time required by task order number 3 and to reduce the contract amount by $432,684.37 to balance the contract value with project cost The final contract amount is $5,450,374.07. Results of request for quotes and approval to enter into contract with ICE Sales and Services for removal and replacement of the Muffin Monster control systems in the amount of $167,500. Results of request for qualifications and approval to enter into agreement with Enhanced Environmental and Emergency Services for emergency chemical response services for the cleanup of oil and chemical spills on recommendation of the Professional Selection Committee. Results of request for proposals and approval to enter into a contract agreement with Gaston's Barbecue for meal services for West Ascension Early Learning Center for the preparation and distribution of 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack during daily operational hours in accordance with state and federal codes, guidelines, and regulations for the children enrolled within the Learning Center at a cost of $7 per child per day. Results of requests for quotes and approval to enter into contract with Expert Maintenance and Construction Services for Ascension Parish Utilities Department security renovations to renovate portions of the Utilities Department office area in Donaldsonville to ensure the security of the employees in the amount of $51,000. Results of requests for proposals and approval to enter into contract agreement with Clean Earth Environmental Solutions for household hazardous materials collection services. Approval of change order number 1, Fabco Inc. for PJ's Landing Building demolition project to increase contract time by an additional 30 days for a new substantial completion date of 2/23/24 and increase contract price by an additional $13,386.90 for a total contract price of $54,426.60 for a full demolition of remaining structure. This is a change from the original scope of work, which included selective demolition of the structure with intent to leave open covered pavilion.
Turn my mic back on. At this time, would anyone like to remove anything from the consent agenda for further discussion? No? Okay. Motion to move the consent agenda by Mr. Mason. A second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Any objection? Hearing none. So moved. Item 7A, acceptance of bid and approval to enter a contract with Bill Commercial Construction LLC for Ascension Parish Courthouse courtroom completion. Mr. Randy is going to present. I can give you all a brief oversight through the state delegation, right, in 2023. We received funds.
Yes, funded by the state appropriation for the courthouse construction fund. That includes the design and construction of the project.
Gotcha. Got a motion approved by Mr. Mason. A second by Ms. Alonso. Any questions, any objections? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you, sir. 7C, presentation and approval of property and casualty insurance rates for Ascension Parish. And I believe we got Mr. Brett Hughes here with us from Hughes Insurance. So give us a little quick presentation. Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't know if you were.
Yeah, just stay right there. 7B, I'm sorry, I marked my B too soon. Resolution authorize Parish President Clint Quitmore to sign and execute all contracts, agreements, and legal documents as authorized by the council. Motion by Mr. Mason. Second by Mr. Robert. Any objections? Hearing none. So moved. All right, Mr. Hughes. 7C.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good to be with you. Kind of glad the school board left. I don't know if I'll be giving them as good a report next month on April 1st for their renewal as you're going to get tonight, but at least they're not here to hear it. Maybe they're not watching TV. You should have the packet in front of you, 4 pages, I think it is. I do have some hard copies if any of you need one. Ms. Thorne, do you have a copy of that? Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a copy real quick. And I just thought about not having a monitor in front of you. If you remember, those of you that were on the council last year, it was not a real good year when it came to property insurance in Louisiana. And if you go back a couple of weeks, whenever we met and reviewed some of the fire claim for the Marvin J. Bro pumping station, we finalized that. And I told you then that it looked like it was going to be much better this year than it has, or than it was last year. And I'm happy to report to you that that is the case. If you turn to, kind of out of order, go to the last page of the report. which is strictly mainly for those of you that were not on the council in years past. Just want to update you a little bit on kind of how we came up with some of the numbers that we have as far as coverages. So if you look at the page, it says Ascension Parish Government, and it's the modeling for property insurance. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I wanted those of you that are new to the council this year to have a copy of that so you can look at it and understand some of the modeling that we do with the insurance carriers, as well as some of the brokers that we use to come up with, hey, well, how much coverage do we really need, or what we can afford based off the probability of something happening from a catastrophic loss, hurricane, and fire. And a couple of bullet points you'll see there, those three. And the last one is what I wanted to kind of point out to you, kind of where well, first off, the modeling came in and said, hey, yeah, on a 100-year event or a 1,000-year event, around $30 million is what you would need from a coverage standpoint. It's kind of the best guess estimate of losses. That was where our modeling was coming in as well. And so we took this building along with the administration building and said, okay, we've got about $50 million of needs from a coverage standpoint of those two buildings. So let's start with that number. And so when you look at the property spreadsheet, that $50 million that we have for named storm coverage, the model is what proved to us that on a 1,000-year event, that should be significant enough to cover at least these two buildings if they get hit by a tornado or hurricane, whatever it might be, because of their close proximity. So I just wanted to let you know that we just didn't pull that number out of the air to say, hey, why are we covering that? Obviously, you have more than $50 million in property. It just comes to a point where how much can you afford? And so that's where the modeling comes in and really helps with those types of numbers. Any questions on that? If you would, then go to the spreadsheet page. That is a spreadsheet of all the policies that are renewing March 1st. The first several lines are your property coverages. And those of you that were here previously, you heard me talk about how we have a tower or a layer for property insurance. You're not going to be able to get one insurance company to come into South Louisiana in Ascension Parish and say, yeah, we'll cover all $50 million. It's just not going to happen. 3 years ago, we were still in that position where we could. But after Laura, Delta, and Ida, unfortunately, that's just not the case. And so we go to the layering process. We did remove some of the carriers that were participating in our layer this previous year, not because of anything they did or didn't do. It's because the property market is in a better situation now than what it was. So believe it or not, we actually had carriers coming to us saying, hey, we would like to participate in the layer up to $1 million or $2.5 million or $5 million or whatever it might be. That is totally opposite of where we were last year. We did not have very many companies, other than the few that were on the layer already, saying we would love to participate in it. And so because of that, we were able to get in and kind of negotiate with some of them and say, well, if you want to participate, here's where they were, and you're going to have to do something better than that if you really want to come into it this year. And so that is one reason that last year we had a 32% rate increase when it came to property insurance. I'm happy to tell you this year it's right at 4.5%. And I really thought that if we could get anything less than 15% after what it looked like last year, that we'd be doing pretty good. And so at 4.5%, I will tell you that's the part that I didn't want the school board to hear, because I don't know if they're going to be able to get that or not. So that's where we're at this year on the property insurance. We still have the same $50 million in coverage. None of the deductibles. Coverages did not change at all. If you look at the very top of that spreadsheet, you'll see Berkshire Hathaway, which is under National Fire and Marine. They're the lead company again, which means they have the first $5 million of coverage, just like last year. And they came in this year with a 0% rate increase. That's almost unheard of in the property market in Louisiana right now. And so they didn't change their rates at all. The 4.5% that we talked about earlier came from all of the other carriers that came in, and that's where that increase came. So that's the property insurance. If you look at the first, I guess that's an orangish, peachish looking color, total property excluding boiler machinery and tree. Tree is terrorism coverage. You look all the way to the right, second to last column, $1,841,544.51. That's the total premium for the property insurance. If you look right below that, we've got Travelers and Hiscox. That's for the boiler and machinery and terrorism coverage. Those premiums are $24,334 and $27,377. Gets our total up to the $1,893,255. Right below that, you'll see where it has Markel, which is the company that we have all in the marine equipment covered. That premium is $124,063, which is the $2,017,318. And then below that, you'll see where we have 4 other carriers listed: cyber liability, excess workers' comp, crime insurance, and then your public entity package, which includes several coverages: general liability, commercial auto, public officials, employment practices liability. All of that is with Chubb Insurance on what they call their public entity package. And that gives you a grand total of $2,563,381.09. That is the number that's 4.5% higher than what it was in the previous year. Do want to point out pollution liability. We do have coverage for that. That's a 3-year policy, and it was renewed last year, and it's good until through March of 2026. And it was also paid in full last year, so you don't even have any invoicing that is due on it. But if you look to the right, where you'll see at the second to last column or so, well, the very last column to the right, we have some other policies that are multi-year policies. The excess workers' comp is a 2-year policy. This is the second year of that renewal, and that's why we basically are taking that premium and cutting it in half as far as what's been paid this year. And then right underneath that, the crime policy is a 3-year policy, but they break it down where you can pay it over 3 years instead of just 1. And so that's that $5,008 for that. Any questions on the coverages? I know I kind of went through it fairly quickly. I know we have some of you that are haven't gone through this process before, so.
Yeah, Mr. Robert.
For the property insurance, you said it's 1.2, 1.4 million?
As far as the total premium,
Yes.
that is right at 1.84 million.
1.84.
Well, yeah, 1.84.
And we have that property between this building and,
Well, we have a total of $50 million of
no, I
coverage.
understand that, but I'm saying, what does that cover?
That's covering any of our properties up to $50 million. It's not particularly just for this building or for the administration building.
I guess what I'm getting at is, and this would be geared more toward the administration, but also toward you, have we thought about self-insuring a lot of these buildings or more of this stuff so we're not spending that on a premium for $50 million? I know with our company, we've done that after last year when it went so crazy.
Well, and keep in mind, Mr. Robert, you are self-insuring a good bit of it from a standpoint of we've got well over $150 million
No, I know, but
in
you're
coverage
still only
needs,
paying
but
$2
we're
million
covering
for
50 of
$50
it.
million in coverage.
Yeah, no, I understand, yeah.
But just something to think about. I didn't know if it's something we could do with the buildings being bonded or anything like that, or which ones are. But
Yeah, I mean, we could, that's a conversation I have to have, you know, an entire governing body, and what, you know, I think Hughes has done a tremendous job for us of late, but, you know, I'm open to any suggestions.
yeah, and I mean, absolutely, we still need other insurance.
Oh, yeah, you can, yeah.
But I mean, a couple $1 million a year, we might be able to make that work. But thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, we can always look at any option like that. Any other questions on the property or any of those other lines that we had talked about? If not, I'll point you just to, so you'll know, each year we go through this whole process with carriers. And if you turn to the page, it has the marketing summary. That just gives you a list of all the companies that we went to and kind of some of their responses based off of if they wanted to participate or not. So we've got 42 companies there for the property standpoint. And then inland marine, we had 14. That's 1 or 2 more than what we had last year. And obviously, competition is good, so the more we can get those companies to participate or at least be willing to look at it, the better those rates and all should get. So any other questions, comments? All of these will be renewing as long as you approve it tonight on March 1st.
All right, I have a motion for approval of the insurance renewal from Mr. Robert, second from Mr. Hillinsbeck. Any objection? Any more questions for Mr. Brett? Hearing none, so move.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Let's see. Moving on to item 8, introduction of ordinances. 8A, introduction of an ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Section 2-11B2 and Section 2-121 through 2-129 to update the list of ratified positions and include those specifically required by Home Rule Charter, to remove the required for parish council approval of department head pay and benefits, to create the Health and Community Development Division with a ratified position of Director, Health and Community Development, and to delete the ratification requirement for all other departments and positions in subsequent sections that contain ratification language except Director, Infrastructure Director, and Director of Public Works. Motion introduced by Mr. Mason. 8B, introduction of an ordinance to approve the act of donation and accept the donation of 2 vehicles, 2023 Ford 119 Explorer Police all-wheel drive four-door VIN FM5K8ABOPGB84304 and 2023 Ford Explorer 119 all-wheel drive four-door VIN 1FM5K8ABXPGB84407 from Galvez Lake Fire Department to Ascension Parish Fire District Number 1. Motion introduced by Mr. P.T. 8C, introduction of ordinance to declare miscellaneous movable properties surplus. Motion introduced by Mr. Mason. 8D, introduction of an ordinance to amend Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Art 1 in general, Section 2-8, Public Documents, Fee Schedule to add electronic delivery of records. Motion introduced by Ms. Alonso. 8E, to purchase movable property as part of the Beco Road purchase on behalf of East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1. Motion introduced by Mr. P.T. 8F, to amend the ordinance adopted on November 21st, 2023 to accept via cooperative endeavor agreement and active donation certain property owned by Palo Alto Incorporated for the use of fire services by Fire District Number 2 to correct ownership from Palo Alto Incorporated and the McCall Company LLC to Palo Alto Incorporated only. Motion introduced by Mr. Mason. Public hearing ordinances. 9A, reading of an ordinance to amend Exhibit A of the ordinance adopting system to reimburse in accordance with Section 4-04B of Ascension Parish Charter and in compliance with state law to amend per diem rate from $75 a day to $125 for council travel. Mr. Kenneth.
Purpose, to amend Exhibit A of the ordinance adopting a system of reimbursement in accordance with Section 404B of the Ascension Parish Charter and in compliance with state law. Whereas Section 404B of the Ascension Parish Charter provides as follows. B, the governing authority by ordinance may adopt a system of reimbursement upon presentation of properly documented receipts of reasonable expenses necessary to the performance of all official duties of the governing authority and in compliance with state law. Whereas the Ascension Parish Council in lawful session on March 12, 2009 adopted a system of reimbursement to establish policies and procedures for the governing authority regarding out-of-parish travel, more specifically Exhibit A. Whereas such a system is authorized by Section 404B of the Ascension Parish Charter, therefore be it ordained by that Exhibit A attached here to and made a part hereof is amended to increase the per diem rate. This ordinance has been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon as follows.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Robert. Second by Mr. Mason. Motion to close public hearing by Mr. Mason. Second by Mr. Robert. Motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Mason. A second by Mr. Arsenault. Any questions, any objection to moving the ordinance? Hearing none, so moved. Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Mason, a second by Mr. Varnado. We are adjourned.